going on?
Ding dong day.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Let's Talk. I got tongue-tied there for a second.
Couldn't
Welcome
tell.
back to Let's Talk Live, episode 41. It is August 7th, 2022. Man, it just feels like time is just going by so quick, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's
Yeah,
really
definitely.
crazy. It's going by quick. I got my main man, Primo in the house, Executive Automotive Society.
That's me.
What's going on, man?
Oh, the usual. What's up with you?
The usual. Come on, man. This is like car season for you, bro. Fill me in on the action. I haven't
too much stuff going on today. So summer send-off went off today. There was a couple other things, a couple of meetings, and Detail Garage had their little get-together. There's a lot of stuff going on. I am looking forward to the next big one, which is going to be, I want to say the 21st, which is going to be the big 2 for exotic car show. So Sunnyside's doing their exotic car show, and then Tuscan Kitchen is going to be doing theirs. So
nice. Well, if you guys haven't gone over, please, if you love car talk, exotic cars,
I'm heading over right now
to the Executive Automotive Society YouTube channel and click that subscribe button. Make sure you turn on the bell notifications, so every time Primo drops a new video, you guys will see that. And this guy goes to a lot of fucking car shows.
It's kind of a hobby.
It's cool, man. It's cool. Hey, I know BMW just had Impact a couple of days. I think maybe last weekend or the weekend before, and that's a big BMW get together in the Poconos. And they do racing and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool.
I think I got some messages on that. There was a couple of different dudes that did racetrack today. There was a big one for veterans that was going on that I was really excited about. Nice. So yeah, there's a lot of track stuff going on. I'm really excited about track. Somebody was doing they were doing one up in Maine, and one of the guys, I think it was a Hayabusa, they did speed runs, 221 miles per hour, and then they had a 900 horsepower Mustang, and he was doing 195, but he had, or 198, and he had the wind was blowing against him, so it would keep. He wanted 200.
If it was pushing him.
Yeah,
wow,
it's crazy.
Let's get some people to chat. Laura's in the house. How you doing, Laura? She's saying, "What's up, Primo?"
What's up?
Got let's see, Wings in the house saying upvoted. Well. The exchange of the two for Vicar Bow is touchy subject, to say at least. Yes, that is the terrorist that the Russians want to trade for Brittney Griner and Griner. I think I said her name wrong, right? But we're going to get into that. We're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. We have some Alex Jones talk. I have some Anthony Farah sound bites from his second question to answer session. And did you see the Las Vegas, that stabbing out in Las Vegas, the smoke shop owner?
Yeah, I got
the video is crazy from that.
I got it sent it with a blur, and then I got sent it about 4 other times with it like actually seeing the face. So apparently it was not a big deal that he was seen. So
yeah, we'll get into that too. But it's funny. I was thinking today, I'm starting to get out and start dating again. So I've been on to some of these dating apps or whatever. Okay. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, women that I can't date. Okay. You can't date a Karen because she's going to get shit all the time.
No, absolutely.
I definitely can't date a Hillary. I can't date a Hillary. That's not going to happen.
Okay.
I can't Hillary Clinton. I can't date a girl named Hillary.
Right. Especially with short blonde hair. And then, I can just see it now. She's like, the whole time she's critiquing your food and just that's going to
changing her accent all the time,
right.
Going to bed and not worrying about 25,000 emails, that's stuff like that. So,
right.
We got a $3 Canadian super sticker from Wayne. Thank you, buddy. We'll give him a bell for that one. Yeah. So anyway, let's get into the first subject this evening. Let's pull up the Brittney, not Britney Spears, the Brittney Griner story. So I just saw this from Toronto Star. So shout out to all you up north. And I thought this was kind of fitting topic, because we do have a lot of Canadians that watch our channel. So we love you up there, that was probably pretty bad.
Yeah.
But Brittney Griner made a dangerous decision. Pleading ignorance simply doesn't wash. Simply doesn't wash. And then the rumor is
that's basic, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, like everybody uses that. That wasn't mine. Like, come on, like.
and right below, I love this, says, "Girl, what were you thinking?" So perfect. Listen, there's been some, I guess, rumor that this guy to the left is basically a Russian terrorist, a known and well-known arms dealer that we have here in the U.S. prison, and Russia wanted to do this exchange, and I find it funny because if this would have happened, or if it does happen, the big major thing, obviously, in this country right now is gun control. I mean, it's with all these mass shootings. And so why would we trade a known terrorist arms dealer for someone that literally could get back out into society, cause terrorism, and especially is known for tracking down and sourcing guns?
Is he really a terrorist, though? Like, how do they define terrorist? I mean, I've read a lot of stuff on that guy in the past. I mean, arms dealer, sells arms. I mean, America does it. Russia does it. Everybody does it. So I'm like, how is he a terrorist? Like, I didn't get that one. I didn't read anything up on that one.
So Laura said, "I bet if Hillary Duff asked you, you would change my." Yes, Laura, I probably would, but I probably just call her Duff Hillary.
The Duff HD. say I want to talk to her in HD.
Wings is saying, "Let's talk live." Yes. Movie Lord of the War with Nick Cage is loosely based on Victor. Wow.
You didn't watch that movie?
I have not seen that, and I'm a big Nick Cage fan. That's crazy.
That is, dude, you got to get right on and watch. It's one of my favorite movies.
Really?
Easily. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Really?
And I'm not a Nick Cage fan, and it's one of my favorite movies.
It's crazy.
So,
so here, I want to give you my kind of thoughts on all of this, which I think is okay. I'm going to put my thoughts and feelings out there.
You're thinking she knew?
She fucking knew, bro. Listen, she has been traveling back and forth for 7 years to Russia. Okay. You got to tell me that whatever organization is, I don't know if I think it may be affiliated still with the WNBA. Okay. So you have the WNBA, and I'm sure that any of these, when all these new athletes come in, rookies, whatever, they have to have someone that sits down with it, says, look, things that you don't want to do, bingo, like things you don't want to do. You don't want to travel with anything illegal over into another country, not legal here in the States, but you're crossing international lines. They take that shit very serious over there. And you're just playing with fire.
Well, wasn't she one of the ones that said like she hated America and didn't want to be around America or something like that? Or
that's go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I didn't know the whole story to it. Yeah,
she was kneeling for the anthem. So here's the first thing: you start doing that, then you've pissed off that whole sect of people. Okay, so you're kneeling for the anthem here. To me, this is my take on it. When you kneel on the anthem, when you kneel during the anthem, and I understand everybody in this country has the right to free speech. I mean, we are giving our opinion. We have a voice. We're exercising our First Amendment right now in this country. Whether you agree with us or you don't agree with us, I still have the right to do that. To me, because I have a very military background and very dedicated military background in my family that goes way back to World War II. I've talked about it 1,000 times on this channel. I am very proud of that. So to me, when you kneel during the anthem, you're kneeling for the people that fought and died for this country. That's the way that my view is on that. And that to me is very disrespectful. So now the way that I look at it is now you've pissed off that whole sect of people. And this has probably gone on for a couple of years now. I don't know her history when she started doing it, whatever. So now you go over to Russia. Now you get caught with this vape pen, this cannabis product. Okay.
Right.
And it's very highly illegal over there. They don't take this shit lightly. Okay. On top of that, a couple of months prior to this, Ukraine has gone into war with Russia. The United States is sending multiple of millions of dollars to support Ukraine.
So maybe they might be looking out for Americans. I don't know, or whatever.
Right. So you have you now sending multiple millions of dollars aiding Ukraine. She's not going anywhere.
No. So when this switch happens, when they're trying to switch up, are they saying they will take him?
It would be a dead up swap,
or
dead up swap. But her strategy, and probably the fucking lawyer told her, well, you should just throw yourselves on the mercy of the court. Say that you did it. Say that you admit to this. I know it's wrong. I'm sorry.
Right.
They're going to probably go lighter on you. No, they gave her the full fucking 9 years. And I'm going to tell you why they gave her the full fucking 9 years. Because we're aiding Ukraine right now. And I'm almost going to tell you, I'd almost bet you, Primo, if we weren't in war with, basically essentially Russia, I would say, we're not technically, but it's tense. Okay. Right. If we weren't in that position, I guarantee you, Biden, all he had to do, make a little phone call. Hey, we'll sprinkle some money. She'd be back here tomorrow. I
don't know. I think that people don't, especially like that. People keep saying that we have we've done friendly things with China. We've done friendly things with Russia. And I'm like, I hate to tell you this, and everybody I'll probably make people mad for bringing this up. Trump used to say what's in it for us? And then that was the thing is everybody said, that's nationalism. You got to take and give a little bit. I'm telling you, Russia and China, they don't do anything without saying what's in it for us. Do you know what I mean? Like any of these swaps, they're not getting this guy because they want to keep him behind bars. They're getting him because they can get something out of him. Now they're going to, so that's the thing is it's this stuff that to hurt to a national government front, to all these different governments and all this other stuff. She has zero value. The only place she has any value right now is in the hearts and minds of the few people that want her back. And we're trading them gold for a basketball person. But that's the thing is in America, we have these things like fame. If that happened in China, and it was one of China's people or whatever, you got caught. Bummer. Later, now you're whatever. So
Wing said, sadly, I don't think they would do this. They when they weigh the risk of releasing one, it puts lives at risk.
Right.
And here's the thing that's just funny in all of this too. Now the initial people that you've pissed off here because you were kneeling for the end, now they're laughing at you because you've been caught, and you've put yourself in a really weird position now too. She's fucked. She's gonna end up doing the 9 years. I mean, she's gonna do 9 years to the day. I mean,
and I don't think anybody will complain about it either. You put yourself in this position. You said, "Hey, it'd be great if this was this," and this brings into that fight about cannabis and all this other stuff, like legalization and junk like that. In America, if you came over and you had one where you were caught like this, there would be trouble. But any other country, they go to court. The court would look over and go, "It's your first offense. Yeah, do me a favor, leave your stuff at home and do where you're at. Just don't bring it into our country, and life's good." And pat on the wrist, and you're out. You know what I mean? 9 years over there.
That's tough. In Russian prisons, no fucking joke. I mean, you can YouTube some of this stuff and look at it. It's crazy. Wing says they will unfortunately be there for a long time, regardless. Regardless, you would want your government to come, but given what's happened, it's very complex. I completely agree. And you know what? Listen, and Lauren says, hey, bottom line, she's an American citizen. She is, and I am firmly believed of. Oh man, this is a weird situation. It's just a weird position I'm in. You want to help your citizen, but it's almost like, hey, it's stupidity. You knew going over there, taking this would be great. It's not like if she got on a fucking plane. It's not like if she got on a fucking plane in Boston and she was flying to LA and they caught her with a vape pen. They probably throw it away and, hey, you can't fucking do that. Here's a ticket, whatever. But you've broken major international laws. I mean,
but let's sort of like this. The other thing that I can add too is she's an American citizen, but she hates America. Okay, you
So
went to the place where you went. Like
ZZ saying USA operates the same way, friend. What's in it for us? Always China and Russia do the same. Every country is blank first. It's how the world works. Difference is Trump doesn't actually mean it. Difference is Trump doesn't actually mean it.
Didn't actually mean that he put America first. That just seems like a weird statement, but okay. I mean, he was based on the idea of everybody said he was a nationalist or whatever. So I don't know about that one.
I don't know where you live, ZZ, but have you seen gas prices lately? Have you seen tension between Russia and Ukraine? Have you seen the economy? I mean, black and white facts, bro. You can look them up. So he thinks that she's going to be out in 90 days. We'll make a trade. Yeah, maybe. She got 9 years because it sweetens the pot for
Russia has no reason to keep her. That's the only thing she's got going for her.
It's leverage,
she has no value. She is simply a pivot tool. She's something to be used.
But she does have value right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
In this Russia says, fuck it, we'll release her. You stop sending money to Ukraine. Back off.
And that's the thing is that's where there's the political game you can play. But like I said, it'll be cut and dry. It'll be like one of these 50-50 swaps and have a nice day.
Tell me what coup, bro. If you want to talk about the insurrection at the Capitol, did you see what went on in this country for almost 2 years? Riots beyond riots, people backing off, people getting killed, cops getting killed. $6 billion worth of damage?
Over that. Yeah. Took over an entire town in what do you call it? In Washington, I think it was, and then just start handing out AKs. Yeah. No problem.
And, I got a question. Why didn't Nancy Pelosi send in the National Guard? She told them to stand down. So Wings saying, look, she should have not even gone to Mexico. Going to Mexico, U.S.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Can with a pen, it's a problem. She's been convicted of something that is same as Victor. The scales are way different. The Marines, I feel bad for. Yeah, absolutely, man. So anyway, so I thought that was, something that we should bring up. It's obviously a big subject that people have been talking about. I kind of have my feeling on it. I think I got your stand, and we know how the audience stands as well, too. Listen, everybody's not going to agree that we are here. I mean, I can tell you, I am definitely not a Democrat. I'm definitely not a Republican. I stand for myself and have my own views. And people might say, oh, well, your views line up with a Republican, or your views line up with a Democrat. You can think what you want. This is my channel. It's my platform. I can say what I want. So
I like what Laura just said.
What's that?
Read hers.
Yeah.
No, not that one. The next one. There you go.
Not really a problem in Canada. It's legal here.
Yeah. And that's the thing is I'm with her. I just think the idea of being able to, what is it? The stuff, if you can regulate it. And the thing is not that I'm a big fan of regulation, but being able to open up all these different places and these new businesses of people that couldn't do stuff before. And especially in a time right now when we need people to go back to the way they were. And that's something our town, I think, just gave out like 2 or 3 different licenses. And now that stuff's,
I just think the whole thing that's crazy about it is that laws can change in an instant. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like a law could change. It could be legal today and then tomorrow it's not. It's all going to depend on, who comes in. And the thing that I always find crazy and funny about all of this too is that, for the longest time it was don't smoke pot and this and that, and it's bad for you and blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. And then, and then you have the people that are very pro weed that are, I don't want the government up in my business. I don't want the government taking my weed. Legalize it. Mm-hmm. Well, then all of a sudden the government steps in, they start taxing it. They raise the price and basically fucked all the people that were.
It really makes me.
It's just government regulated now.
It really makes me wonder that one politician that we had that was all about saying legalize it, and then was saying that menthol cigarettes, no, that's got to be completely illegal, and we should put people in jail for it. And it's so like, what am I missing? Like, I don't get it. So, but anyway. That's the thing is it's like anything in this world, it'll all turn around. Look at it, how they're attacking vaping right now. You can't watch a YouTube video for 2 hours without an anti-vape commercial. it's in your lungs. And I'm like, dude, think about the stuff that's in our lungs on right. Go out and you got tons of stuff in your lungs.
The way that I look at it is, I say, if you want to kill yourself quicker and ingest all this stuff, by all means, it's your own fucking thing. If you want to put all this shit in your body and think that it's gonna lengthen your lifespan, then by all means. I personally, I don't want to be sucking on vegetable oil. It's just not my thing,
that's not your hobby.
Not my hobby.
I can imagine just sitting, dude. Think about the weird things that people did when they were kids. We had people in high school that were like snorting Tang. Like, what is wrong with you? Like,
or sniffing those black thick markers and
like
sniffing that, or airplane glue when kids were sniffing airplane glue and all that shit.
People was like, oh, you guys can't get high. You do the little thing where you put your head down and you breathe real fast and you spin around real quick and it'll make you feel the same way. I'm like, get a hobby. Like, seriously. I mean, you're old enough to work. Like, by the time I was 13, I was working almost full time. Like, it's like, dude, get a job. Like, imagine.
All right.
Oh, this one.
Alex Jones.
Yeah.
$49.3 million verdict in the future and the future of misinformation. So here's the funny thing about all of this, and I don't know if you knew this. So I tend to catch like Tim Pool sometimes because I kind of like his opinion on some of this stuff, and he was actually talking about this whole payout and what the media is saying about it. They're throwing this big number up for 43.3 million. And basically the way that he described it, and I think this was either last night or the night before, he was talking about, and believe me, I'm not an expert lawyer. I don't know how legal ramifications and stuff that work, payouts, but this number that the media is throwing out of this 49.3 million, Tim was kind of breaking it down, and he said, literally at the end of the day, Alex is probably going to pay around $12 million. Okay. And I don't know how that all worked out. I mean, you can go back and watch the stream. He talks about it with a legal expert that's on there, and they were breaking it down. And he said, basically at the bottom line, I mean, he's going to probably pay about, like $12 million. And then another thing on top of that too, is he might not even pay at all. I mean, you go back to like the OJ Simpson trial. I mean, he got convicted in the not the criminal trial, but the civil court. And he ended up owing them probably 30 million. He hasn't paid one fucking dime of that.
No.
And the way that they get around this stuff is put things in trust.
Yeah.
So
and the other thing is they still can declare bankruptcy at the end of it and be like, I got nothing. What do you can't plead a tournament kind of thing. But it's like, dude, there's everybody around you's got millions of dollars. So Alex, it's funny because a lot of people put Alex Jones as kind of the poster child for all the stuff that's happening. It used to be Rush Limbaugh. Everybody's like, Rush Limbaugh is a problem and everybody needs to be banned. And Alex Jones is coming out here and he's talking about, the frogs in the waters and stuff like that. Hey, and man, I was just like,
about the frogs in the water.
Yeah, it's the frogs in the water. So, but Alex Jones
that's
is
a good Alex Jones, by the way.
Thank you. He's one of those guys that his stuff is just too extreme. It's just, and it's done to be hyperbolic. But that's the thing is everybody loves the Jerry Springers. They love the stuff. But I just think that people who don't like Alex Jones take Alex Jones too seriously.
Yep.
And people who like Alex Jones take Alex Jones too seriously. So it's like, if you just kind of look at Alex Jones and say it's Alex Jones, it's just another Jerry Springer. And there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't hurt. Alex has not effectively hurt anybody other than saying some really stupid stuff. And when you say stupid stuff, sometimes you get sued for it. And he got sued for it. It is what it is. So,
yeah. I mean, I don't think this is ultimately going to end him. I mean, there's rumors that he's only worth like $2 million, but I find that very hard to believe with all the shit and the advertisements that he runs on it.
It won't affect him.
The pills and all that shit. Hey man, take this vitamin. Is it gonna help me? Like all that. This is my new formula. I gotta put on the camera. So you want to take this and you look just like me. Look at the health of you. I'm the healthiest guy you ever know. Look, it's all muscles, none of it's fat. That's pretty good, man. I think that's pretty fucking good. But it's like
There's
I'd be
one.
curious to see.
Oh,
What?
I'm sorry. There's one
Nope.
thing that Laura did say about that, and she was saying, "Can you pull out? Can you imagine being the parents of?" And that one's the one. Yeah. Can you have the poor kids and the denial of the thing there? That is sad, and that's the part of, and it's not just Alex Jones, because Alex Jones was relaying information. You have to realize that there's a lot of people out there that had these conspiracy theories, and I'm all for certain conspiracy theories, but for some of the stuff, to imagine having somebody come on TV and saying your kid doesn't exist, and they never existed, and here's the proof, and all this other stuff. That's got to be traumatic. Like, and I don't think it hurt the world, but I definitely think that, like, there was one where the guy showed up to the house and Alex was giving this guy a stage. Like Alex, man, come on. You could just not do some of that stuff and people would still look at you as the entertainer that you are, if you will. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he does this stuff for ratings. I mean, it goes back to even like look at all those shock jocks, like Howard Stern got all that start with doing all that crazy shit, and ratings, and it comes down to just ratings and views and clicks and money and Imus. Yeah, say Imus back in the day.
Opie and
Anthony said some really outlandish shit here in New England when they were on the radio together. And
think about how many guys that you don't think about it, and I don't hear them anymore, and you look it up and you go, they were completely canceled for doing something like the one was like you can win $100 grand, and the lady wins $100 grand, and they go up to the thing and give her a candy bar, and I still see like they all got fired for that. Like that was huge. The lady sued, she won, she got money. Like, I'm not saying she got 100 grand, but she got money for not getting that stuff. And then you see 2 weeks later, another radio station do the same stupid thing. And it still has. I saw one last week. I was like, this is crazy. But yeah, I don't get it.
So what do you think? You think this is going to ultimately end him, or?
No, Alex, no. It's like anything. There's certain guys like, they were talking about this with Grand Theft Auto. Like Grand Theft Auto was going to straighten up and fly right, and Rockstar's talking about equity in their next GTA game and all this other stuff. I was like, it's not ever going to happen. You know how much money they would lose going, like if Alex Jones straightened up and flew right, base would disappear. Nobody would watch his show. He has to be hyperbolic. He has to find the most extreme thing and have, was it Jesse Ventura on and just talk about, how I'm getting the things out here and where is it? And it's going, and that's, it's almost
conspiracy. I've been a fighter, a wrestler.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the thing is he's out there saying the
governor,
stuff he's saying.
A fighter, a wrestler. Yeah.
Right. And that's the thing is all these guys are going to come on and do it. Yeah. We know how many of those are out there,
Have you ever seen the video of him on Opie and Anthony?
No, was that the one where he talked about Chris Kyle punching him?
No.
Or him punching Chris Kyle? Or was that a different one?
Hang on. I got to play this. Watch this. Opie and Anthony. Because he's talking about 9/11 and hang on a second.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah. Oh, and then Jim Norton. Oh my God. So
yes.
All right.
Norton is a riot. Oh my God.
You've seen Rocky Horror Picture Show before, right?
No.
Okay, so Rocky Horror Picture Shows. All right. There's a character.
I know the concept.
Yeah. There's a character on there called Riff Raff, and he has kind of that long blonde hair. Oh, dude.
He does a riffraff?
No, wait.
Oh, okay.
Jim Norton, fucking.
I feel like I'm gonna be. Yeah.
So
I wonder why Jim Norton doesn't do more, because he's been on everything.
Hang on 1 second. I got to show you what riffraff looks like, and then you'll get the joke.
Got it.
All right. Let me find an image. Hang on. Wait till you see this fucking guy.
I have not heard you laugh like this before. This is fun.
All right, so keep this image in your head, okay? Keep this image in your head, all right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. I know the character. Yep.
All right. All right. Let me pull this up. This is hilarious. All right, so Jim, let me get past this commercial.
Yeah, the forced commercial.
Wait.
Right.
Oh God, that's loud. It's
Yeah,
annoying.
right.
Come on. All right, watch.
Okay.
5 of those hijackers alive.
There he is.
They're not. He's hosting a talk show in front of you. No, he's not.
They're all
He's
dead.
not.
You're sure of that?
You sure of that?
Yes.
So the bodies
You sure of that? Yeah.
Wait.
That's taking that argument.
Wait.
Well, we'll just fly with that. What the hell? My government told me that. So you know why I don't believe my government?
Well, you believe Saudi Arabia's government?
No.
They're over there flying planes around commercial airlines?
But here's why I don't believe my government. My government has lied to me so many times.
Okay, fair enough.
They lied to me about the Gulf of Tonkin incident. Isn't that pretty important? The incident.
Well, you didn't want to go back that far. You don't want to go back that far with Canada. We can't go back that far in Vietnam. You said to me that we're those guys.
No, because this happened in 2004, pal. So we're not going back that far.
You said we send our guys off to war without giving a shit, and I'm telling you that's not true.
Yes,
I'm not saying. I agree with you.
When did you go to war?
I've never been in the military.
There you go. So you don't know.
But I say pull them out of every. So because I've never been in the military, when we are attacked by I feel a nation, we should not.
It should be proven first.
I feel we proved it. You feel we didn't. You also feel that fucking Bush was behind 9/11. So we're always going to disagree.
Hey, don't put fucking words in my mouth.
You feel that the U.S. government was behind it.
How is that? I didn't say that.
What do you think?
I just
our
said
government's covering it up.
We have not been told the truth.
So you feel that?
Well, okay, wait a minute. All right. If you'll
I've never seen these guys
you're
fight
yelling.
like this.
You said the F word. You're the governor.
This is serious. And I'm only talking your language so you'll understand.
No, you shouldn't bring it down to my level. Bring me up to yours.
You know,
I want to solve what you said.
Let me answer this question.
No, I want to solve what you said about.
You know, if you're not going to let me talk, I'm out the door.
You've been talking the whole time. All you do is yell over people, and you don't want to address point by point. You act like we say, send our boys to war, fuck them. We've never said that. I agree with you. But I want to pull them out of Germany. I want to pull them everywhere. The U.S. military should never be dying for other countries. I don't care what happens.
Get them out.
Fuck them. I don't care if Kim Jong-il takes us out. That's not my business. I just think that if we are attacked, we have the right to want our military to respond. So that's not some warmonger.
I like how he wears his head thing too.
Wait, here it comes.
Okay.
That's what I want to do.
Jesse just sits and looks at Jimmy.
What?
Awkwardly.
That was a fair point I just made. You were wrong when you said that.
I don't know. I didn't listen.
Wait. It's so good here.
Holy, you're a big guy. And you talk
I
loud.
talked over you.
Yes,
You're just now yelling at me because I'm not talking.
I'm not yelling at you. I'm just yelling about your point. You accused us of something, so it's not.
No, I didn't accuse him.
Sure, you did. You guys are just full of shit. You're warmongers. It's like that's not the truth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I stand corrected.
Thank you.
You're a great American.
Well, I'm not saying I'm a great American, but I'm not a warmonger.
When your country calls, you're there.
Hey, I've never been in the military, so you're brave. I'm a coward. I have no right. We got it. Stop.
Did I say that?
Yes, you did through implication. We all speak this. We have the commonality of language, so you can't say, "Did I say that?" when you say something.
Oh no!
You did it to me. You said I don't believe in the Constitution.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Jess.
Governor.
You always just sulk and walk away. Why?
No,
you put words in my mouth.
There's a fucking guy here telling me I got a schedule, asshole.
You're using dirty language, asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Go.
Wait. Bye, tough guy.
Bye, tough guy.
And thanks for your service to our country.
You're welcome. Thanks for touching me with your fucking stupid riff-raff fucking Rocky Horror hairdo. You're bigger than me and stronger than me. So what? I don't give a shit. You want to beat me up? Go ahead. I'm not going to fight a guy like you. That means nothing to me.
He's so pissed.
I argued with you. You put words in my mouth, and you didn't like when I did it to you.
It's exact. My dad
has
looked at face before. It's hilarious.
And that's bullshit. It's not true. I don't agree with
Yeah, he does.
Abusing it.
Thank you for your service.
Oh, you're welcome. You're a bigger patriot than me. Godspeed.
He's so. Oh, dude.
Dude, the comedic timing on that, like, your fucking Rocky Horror hair.
Your riff-raff Rocky Horror hair.
It's so good.
That's hilarious.
Oh, I love it. Conspiracies.
The conspiracies.
Oh, fuck.
Oh man, he's like when he's not in, like, he has like an island someplace that he goes to with, like,
he goes to Mexico.
He has no connection to anything. Yeah, like he's off. When he goes off the grid, he's off the grid. It's hilarious.
How ironic that we're talking wrestling and I got my Austin 316 shirt on today. When
How old is that thing?
This shirt,
Yeah.
it's new, but I just love the
okay.
vintage print to it, and that's
Yeah,
moment when he said Austin 316 says, "Oh, whip your ass."
I want to say it's not
Ted.
That's not Ted DiBiase with him, right?
No, I forget the guy's name, but he was
Yeah.
one of the announcers or whatever. But that
I remember him. I just can't place the name right now.
That's basically when the Attitude Era started.
Mhm.
I love it. It's
What year was it?
This was 95, King of the Ring.
Yeah.
But they say, like, if you look, like, the real Attitude Era started in 97. It wasn't. It was Stone Cold.
It was Stone Cold, yeah.
Fuck The Rock. Fuck all those guys.
Well, the
Stone
thing
Cold
that was crazy about that is that when we did wrestling prior, it was all about the heel versus the face. You always had the good guy versus the bad guy. And when Austin came out, it was suddenly it blurred the lines because we had an anti-hero that we were all rooting for, and Vince McMahon became the bad guy. So it was like the worker versus the boss. And that was so sound, and it could have gone so many places, and they just badly wrote it. And then, they just basically did one bad lead after the other trying to fix it. And that basically made the Attitude Era. And then the WCW thing was really what made them famous.
NWO, bro. That was when Hogan turned heel. Oh my God.
What a moment. Like we still watch that. Like, it's so funny. My friend brought it up the other day, and I'm like, wow, we're never going to let this. Cause that moment when he does it, and the people throwing stuff in the ring, like that, you didn't do that stuff. And here it was, man. They were throwing chairs. They were throwing anything they could get their hands on.
Yeah. And it's crazy. And it sucks because I can't play the video because the YouTube algorithm will nail me because that's all copywritten. I tried even just playing Ric Flair's like jet flying. They nailed me on it. But I wish we could play it because it's such a dramatic turn in wrestling, and you can fucking see like when Hogan's coming down to the ring in the Bastard Beach. I think it was 95 or 96.
Yeah,
he's walking down the aisle, and you can fucking see on his face like, all right, baby, here we go. Like this is gonna be the turn. And he comes in and just drops the leg on Macho Man, and then you come to find out like he's oh my God, he's the third man. They're all like, he's the third man. And then he gets up and just does the fucking speech, and he's like, this is gonna be the new world order.
It was definitely a revival. It changed. It brought Hogan back to being relevant again. Like it really, like all the people that didn't wrestle suddenly were back. They all had something to do because there wasn't enough story out there. People had their own little shticks that they were doing at the time. So suddenly it's shift. Okay, now we need guys that are in the NWO because we can't just have these three guys. Who's going to be the guys that work with them? Who's going to be support? So you end up with all the different dudes that basically came onto that.
All Nash, Sting, Luger. I mean, all those guys.
And then brought to Wolfpack and
I mean, it's funny. I was just watching something about this the other day, but at the particular time when that NWO started, that was literally the hottest thing at that time in pop culture. That's how big that was. That's how big that was.
It was the first time ever too you saw cross promotion. That's the thing that's weird. Like when wrestlers back in the 70s and stuff went from area to area, you had your belt where you were. Like that was your area. You didn't have the belt anyplace else. You go back, you do your thing. And there really wasn't any cross promotion from the standpoint of cross promotion. They had places where Dusty Rhodes would go with Ric Flair and they do their shtick here, and then they go to New York and do their shtick there. But that was the thing is it was suddenly like, here's DX showing up at a WCW event, calling people out and working against each other. And it was like, that was just unheard of. Like, we were like, what is going on? This is crazy.
And then ultimately Vince McMahon fucked everything up because WCW was on its own. He went and bought them up, bought all the talent up, brought those guys over. And then ultimately my favorite organization was ECW. I loved ECW wrestling. Vince ended up buying them out, tried doing it in WWF and fucked it all up. But ECW, when they did it in the Philadelphia, it was in Philadelphia at it was like a small indoor stadium there or something. And they're doing all the shows and they pack like 800 people in there. And, I remember watching all that in syndication on like cable TV Friday night at like 11 p.m. on Univision. It would come on and be like ECW wrestling. It's like they're on the Spanish channel because they couldn't get on a regular
well,
cable channel.
Heyman was supposed to be Vince's replacement. Like he was grooming him to be the next Vince, and it was so crazy that like I think that was I mean, Vince obviously now is completely done.
Gone.
And that was the thing is I think that was kind of the problem was there were certain things that happened that was the carny mentality had followed wrestling from way back. We'd never gotten rid of it. It was like the car salesperson that was like, this is the bad car salesman guys with the gold teeth and stuff. And Vince had really taken that and milked that all the way through. And now it's, what do you do? Like, and that's the thing is people look at this as like, okay, maybe it's the death of wrestling. And I said, no, it's more like we can take all those lessons that we learned from Austin, which is really where we need to go back to and use those things and bring something forward into it. And nobody went back to check those and say, why did that work when there really wasn't? That's the problem is like back in the 80s, we do the Russians and the Russians would come out and fight Hogan or fight Sergeant Slaughter. And you had the good guys. That stuff made
it. Sergeant Slaughter turned heel and went with the Russians.
Right.
And, you had the Iron Sheik and
Hacksaw Jim Duggan coming out with his flag and, but that was the thing is that that stuff died away. A lot of people didn't get into that. You can't. The Iron Sheik was now a friend. We all love the Iron Sheik. We can't imagine him being a bad guy. So how do you change these guys back into bad guys? And that's where Stone Cold could just be like, everybody loves me and I'm a bad guy. And those things would have worked really well for guys like Kurt Angle because Kurt Angle he could work a crowd like nobody else. And it was amazing to watch it happen. So, but I'm hoping that we go back to that. I hope we learn those lessons. And I think Chris Jericho is one of those guys that remembers it. He's into that stuff. But whether these organizations jump into it will be more people want to go more into that MMA thinking. And that's never going to work for wrestling. So
and it's going to be, I think, crazy to see now with Vince out how Triple H is going to run this thing. You got to think. I mean, the WWE is like a $6 billion company, so they have plenty of money. I'm just curious to see what's going to be the next thing. I think it's actually going to improve. I think kind of what you were saying, having some fresh minds. Some younger minds, fresh. I mean, not that Triple H is super young. I think he's close to 50 now, but being able to have, a little bit of a fresh attitude and fresh mind to it. Laura's saying the Attitude Era demise was due to the sponsors pulling their money as the storylines got so over the top. That's very true. I mean, there was like one storyline that Triple H, and I think they might have aired it once and they could never, like, he went into a funeral home and literally screwed a corpse. And the funny thing about it is Triple H still tells the story today. Fucking Vince is like, you're gonna go in there and fucking do this. So he sends Triple H in and he's like, literally, he said, they're shooting this scene, right? I'm serious, there's a real wake that's next to them, and all that is separating this is like a fabric curtain, and he's in there simulating sex with a corpse. It's just like,
and that's Vince Russo talking right there. That has Vince Russo all over it.
Yeah,
like that's the stuff that he used to write, and he was like, "Oh, why are you?" I remember when them chanting, like, "Why, Russo? Why are you so original?" I was like, "Dude, we hated that stuff. Like the stuff that he got into was just." I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. And the thing is I never knew the guy or knew specifically what he wrote. But that was the thing is it's kind of like the stories I've heard. I'd rather talk to him and have him specifically go, this is the stuff I promoted and this was promoted wrong, or, what were you thinking? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, cause that thing is a lot of times you'll have those conversations with these guys and they're like, that wasn't the plan. And this is how Vince ruined it. And, so it's like, but that's the thing is in wrestling, a lot of times it is with the he said, she said stuff, and Hunter, when his group moved to WCW, he took the brunt of all that stuff. Like he dumped the brunt of DX leaving basically was supposedly his fault. And he got punished greatly for it. But I mean, obviously basically running the company now. So I mean, I guess it all worked out.
And again, I'll be curious to see what's going to happen. I mean, I can't. I got to say this. I probably haven't watched wrestling in fucking years. I casually catch it here and there. I read some of the stories. I follow Jericho because on Jericho's Facebook page, he's really good at like writing articles and kind of keeping me up to date.
Jericho's a great guy. Yeah.
And I kind of just watch some of that. But I think, for me, when all those guys like Austin, Rock, all Triple H, when they all stopped, and now you have Ric Flair that just did his last match the other day. He's fucking 75 years old, and
75
he's out there
still wrestling.
The guy's out there fucking doing color and bleeding, and
that was it, dude. Yeah, if you had been around the 70s and 80s when he did that, nobody did it like Flair. Flair was just so. I mean, it was a bunch of dudes in that camp that were just. You would watch a match with them if you paid for a match with Flair or the Four Horsemen or the Road Warriors or Midnight Express or Rock and Roll Express. You got your money's worth. Like you really were like, this is nothing like it is on TV. I'm like, exactly. That's why they did what they did. So yeah,
it's good. It's good stuff, and I miss all that stuff. To me. It was a symbol of our youth. It's something that we did when we were kids. We watched that. The old gritty WCW with blonde-haired Sting and fucking Ricky Steamboat, AWA, Ricky Steamboat and Flair.
But if you think about it, it was the same formula that was literally back in the
but back
in the 20s to the 40s to the 60s. The only thing that really changed, and I thought this was funny, suplex was a finisher move.
Yeah.
But you think about it and you're like, the body slam started off as a finisher move, which was huge. Then it became Jake the Snake's DDT. And then it became a point where you go to an EC event and you'd have, what's his name there? The Bulldog or whatever. He's suplexing. This guy's been suplexed 72 times. He's dead. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's the hyperbole. That's really what it kept getting bigger and bigger. And then we got luchadors, and it went from like 3 chained wrestling moves to 16 to 20. Like it got crazy. Like these high flyer guys
salts and fucking hurricanranas and
Well, that's why cool. I think Van Dam got such recognition for his ability to both do the stuff that was old school and then bring in and make his matches were great. But that's the thing is take those two things. That's what I think. Rob Van Dam took the luchador style, put it with a
bigger guy, he's huge.
And a new fighting style, and then said instead of just having the traditional 4 or 5 chain things, we're going to do 7 or 8. And then at the end, they stand off against each other and people clapped. And I was like, that's it, man. Everybody saw that you did something. That was a trick. It was like watching a skateboard move. It was like, that's hard. And that's the thing is it needs to go back to a lot of that. People stopping in at 2 things where the guy sees up to each other and you just hear everybody chant like, man, that was the greatest thing. But at the end, they face off like, who's going to win now? You're still back to 0. And that's the best stuff.
And Laura, we're gonna get off wrestling here in a second.
Yeah, we got it.
I love talking this stuff, but Lynn Laura also saying like the network censorships too. So it's crazy. So I was gonna do the smoke shop, but I think I'm gonna pull away from that. I want to get into Anthony Farah did his second question and answer, and I don't know if everybody in the audience got a chance to watch it, but I did find some hot takes that were very, very interesting that I wanted to pull up. And at the end of kind of his question and answer, which really wasn't a question and answer, he did take some question and answer from the audience. And someone asked him about his relationship with Tim Wright. And Tim Wright is another YouTuber. He does a watch channel. He does kind of talks, watches, and has a bunch of people on his channel. And I thought this was kind of interesting. And playing this out, it's almost like Anthony got a little bit nervous when his background, and you'll kind of see what's going on. We can go through this, but let me play this.
Please.
This real quick. I don't talk to Tim. I don't have a reason to. I don't not like him, but I don't.
Why don't we just be real?
What?
Why don't we just be real? Tim Wright talked a bunch of shit on his YouTube about us and then fanboyed out when he met us in person.
Oh yeah, he did do that, didn't he? Oh, you opened up a good can of questions. Okay, so
can of questions.
if I remember correctly, which we do, Tim Wright talked a bunch of shit about us until he actually met me. And whenever he met us in Miami with Paul Thorpe and everybody, he did turn into a fanboy. So, Tim, if you're watching this and you still have a problem with me, just remember how much of a fan you were when you met me. If you don't have a problem with me, then I don't know what everyone's talking about. Don't talk.
So it's interesting because if you, I'm going to play this again. I want you to listen. When he says, "Oh, let's talk about Tim Wright," and he kind of didn't. It almost seemed like he didn't want to go there.
Right.
And then his background, which is Darby, is his camera guy, says, "Well, let's just be real about it." And you can almost see the sense of this minute where Anthony swallows, kind of like that. Like, oh shit. And then he was like, "Oh yeah, he did." Like, it's almost like he didn't want to do this.
Right.
So let's play this again. I found this kind of
Tim
interesting.
Wright, I don't talk to Tim. I don't have a reason to. I don't not like him, but I don't.
Why don't we just be real?
What?
He's like, what?
Tim Wright talked a bunch of shit on his YouTube about us and then fanboyed out when he met us in person.
Oh yeah, he did do that, didn't he? Oh, you opened up a good can of questions. Okay, so
you opened up a good can of questions.
Yeah, he did.
He was gonna say worms.
Tim Wright talked a bunch of shit about us until he actually met me. And whenever he met us in Miami with Paul Thorpe and everybody, he did turn into a fanboy. So, Tim, if you're watching this and you still have a problem,
that could be it, Laura. Good take on that.
When you met me, if you don't have a problem with me, then I don't know what everyone's talking about. So, sort of that.
Interesting. Now, listen, I'm not in any type of feud with Tim. Tim does his thing. That's his channel. I just found this very interesting and wanted to kind of play through. I thought that was one of the highlights. And also, he had a question, would he ever appear on the Archie Luxury channel? And I'll give you some context to that, Primo. I know you don't really watch a lot of these channels, but Archie Luxury is like probably one of the biggest.
I watched a little bit of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy channel, a lot of crazy fans on there. Pulls about average between, I don't know, some nights he could be 250 people up to 1,000, just depends on who his guests are. He's kind of the OG in this space. And I thought this was kind of interesting too. Let's see this. Basil's, who's a channel member, we'll give him a bell on that one. Thank you for the support, the long time support. He's saying, why didn't he and Darby confront him if he was talking trash? Interesting point. Yeah. Maybe the only thing that I could think of is that, Tim does have some type of presence on YouTube. He's pretty well known from Archie Luxury. And you know how all those fucking people travel, that you start one thing with someone, it goes to the other channel and the other channel and the other channel, and he probably just doesn't want to deal with it. That's the only way that I think I could kind of look at it. Laura's saying Tim has a heightened sense of importance. I really think Tug Pants didn't remember who he was. It's quite possible. It's quite possible. But I thought this was interesting as well too. Let's play this.
Will I appear on the Archie show? Fuck no.
Wow.
No. Let's see.
So that answers that question.
Yeah, right.
We'll play that again.
On the Archie show? Fuck no.
Wow.
No. Let's see.
So we won't be appearing on the Archie Luxury show. So again, listen, I have no problem with any of these people. They do their own thing on their channel. I do my own thing. I just report the news, and I thought that some of this stuff was interesting, and I wanted to bring it to light if they haven't seen that. Let's see. Wings is saying, yeah, I was a fan of TPG, but his antics are just that, to be honest. I'd rather give Woven or GC my business if I could see how the market is. And to be honest, Tim was nice enough to help him film. Yeah. Laura's saying because they aren't in high school and it wasn't a watch show. I think probably the only other thing that I could say too is when they met him, to be true, I mean, they were all around with Paul Thorpe, Archie was there. I mean, they were all at a dinner table. So I don't think it would be like proper to confront someone, at a dinner or whatever. And you don't want to start a big big thing when you have kind of, which I say the big YouTubers in that space, in that watch space, they're all together.
Right.
You don't want to start a bunch of shit. So Wing's saying, I don't know, he's a fanboy. He is well known in our hobby. Yeah, TPG gets upset when people are critical. Yeah, he does. I think people are very hyper aware that Anthony does take some of this stuff pretty serious. And I say this, man, if you do YouTube, you got to just let the comments and the things go by your head, not take it personal, and just move on with your day. And I know sometimes it's tough. I'm sure you get shit on your channel that you see and fucking sticks with you all day. And it's, the person said this or that, or
how bad is it that I don't care?
Yeah, well, that's the way that you have to approach it.
It's the thing is, that's what's been, that's not just that, but I've been doing basically media and whatever this entertainment thing is for far too long. And that's the thing is one thing, first off, is if you're doing it right, somebody's going to say something bad. So if you don't hear anybody insulting me or saying something bad, then I'm not doing something right. So
it's funny. I got shit, believe it or not, for having that banner on my wall, for promoting my brand, for promoting my podcast. Someone's like, "Oh, you only have 1,500 and you're going out and you're buying fancy banners." And I'm like, I bought that off. I made that off Amazon for $20.
Right. Yeah. Well, I had a guy come on my channel that was on a video that had 60,000 views and told me that I had a dead channel. And I went over to his and I was like, you have nothing on your channel. So it was so funny. I even cross-referenced and looked it up and put all the stuff out. And was like, yeah, you've done nothing. So I was like, you know what? When you're ready to put something out, I'll be happy to critique it for you and see exactly and help you improve and get better. But I'm going to guess that you won't want me to be there because I'm the one that reminds you that you fail every day. So, hey.
The thing that I always try to say is this too, is that I do this for fun. I find this to be fun. I don't take it majorly serious. I come on here. It's a stress reliever on my Sunday nights to come out and hang out with you, the people that are in the chat, and the people that give feedback on the channel. And then that's what I've always said. It's just a spot to come in and have a couple of people to hang out and just talk and bullshit. Just get things off your mind. And that's really the way that I've always looked at it. So I don't know. You're not going to please everybody in this space. I can tell you that.
True. That's the thing is that's what I think about. The biggest thing for Anthony, that if he's going to learn something, is to say, you can't, he went up too fast and he wasn't used to those moments where somebody said something and you go, was that true? And you really start asking, or when people dig into your past and do all that stuff that you're like, I think, like, why isn't that personal? It's like,
I gotta be honest with you. I think that digging of that personal shit was a little fucking out of line.
That's what I'm saying.
Like it's a little. I don't care who you are. Like, I wouldn't want to see that with you. I wouldn't want to see that with Tim Wright. I wouldn't want to see that. Or, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't. I just think
it happened with me.
Well, we do know about your 3 OnlyFans pages,
No, there's 3. Oh, I didn't tell you about the other ones. Okay. No, yes, 3.
But I think, going, listen, if you want to call, I look at it this way, you want to call the guy a dickhead, the this, the that, but digging like super, super personal. And, listen, I don't, and I know people would probably go, well, the only reason he did that was because he came at Watch Nicholas and and Watch Nicholas. Listen,
how is that fair?
Again, I don't know that whole relationship or whatever, who dug who first or whatever. But when you start dragging personal stuff into it, it gets a little crazy. I mean, people's addresses were getting doxxed and full names, and it's just, it's crazy.
I had one where I looked at the guy and he came back. It was a Facebook friend, and he has a very, very successful account, and he made a video after people did all this stuff to him, and he was in tears. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, what? Oh, these guys did this. And in the Facebook, social media, YouTube space or whatever, I was like, I hadn't seen a single video that you're talking about, but because it's in their space, it matters to them. And that's the thing. It's they let it get to them. And You can't let it get to you.
So Laura's making a good point here. She said Anthony really should stop doing the Q&A. It doesn't help his brand. Frankly, I think it's just to massage his ego. And then she said, yes, I said massage. But I think that Laura has a good point. I don't think this is going to be anything helpful to his brand. I mean, obviously, I've watched the last two, and it's been pretty brutal, the comments.
Yeah.
And I think just ultimately in the end, he's going to probably just end up stopping doing it. I think he should.
I'm the inverse on it.
Okay. What do you think?
I really, he's got to do the Q&As. He's got to.
So?
Yeah, it's
Why
one of those things because you can't care. It's the thing is if you have somebody that's a bully, and that's really what people are doing. They're bullying him. So here's people are bullying you, and you hide in the corner. You never face it. You don't answer any of the questions. You don't do all this stuff. Sooner or later, it starts building up, and you have to start shutting it down. Now, I don't want the Q&As to be his only thing.
Sure.
But the thing is that, and he's got to be able, you got to be able to talk to your fans too. That's something that's huge. And learning, everybody says he has an ego, then this is the place to take that ego off. And that's one thing that first question, when he took your questions and started putting them out, it really made him look like a transparent person. There was a couple of statements where he goes, look, I did this. It's okay. If it happened, I made the choices I made at the time. If you guys don't like it, pound tar, and I'm ready to be judged. And that's the thing is he has his success to look at and say, I was over here and now I'm over here. And I think the place he's at right now is a lot better place than the place that he was. And what happened was he's still kind of coming out of that world, like coming off of, probation and, the drug screenings and all that other stuff. And then coming out of that stuff, you need to be able to go to everybody and just say, look, I drank the bong water and then I did my stuff and I don't do that anymore. And here it is. And I hate to say it, but it's not that bad press is not going to go overnight. But if I was his publicist, I would look over and go, every time your face is in front of somebody and they make critical statements about you and you just it always makes you look better. But if somebody told you, hey, Brian, you suck and you have bad feet and you gave a couple of rub and tugs and all of a sudden your channel disappears for like 6 weeks. You know what I mean? Everybody's, what are they going to say? They're going to immediately say like his feet really do stink. They're not going to care about the tugs. But the thing is that, like the 3 OnlyFans pages came from. But no, it's really, that's the thing is you got to go like, yeah, I said that. Why? Like, that's not, think about how many times that we've talked about these attacks by woke personalities that look over and say, when you start bowing to those people, that's when you start failing. If somebody looked over at me and said, did you say this? I'm like, yeah, I said it. I said it at that time and I meant it at that time. And yeah, maybe I changed my attitude. For most times I haven't changed my attitude and I'm just the same, excuse my French, asshole that I've always been.
You can swear.
And deal with it. It is what it is. So, and that's the thing is once you say that and you stand on your guns and you say, here's the line in the sand, people go, okay, I can't do anything with him. He's bulletproof. That's what got Trump elected, by the way, is he said all the stuff that he said and then said, I'm not apologizing. So, and that's
I think at that time, the country was kind of in that position, like just fucking say what you want to say, do what you want to do. We've been fucking tired of what's been going on, blah, blah, blah. But I do want to get to some of these comments really quick before we wrap up the show. Wings is saying, yeah, I agree. Not sure what's true, but if the doxing that was claimed about Watch Nicholas didn't happen and someone's random was doxing, it's still wrong. Someone innocent was getting hurt. And then Laura saying that Watch Nicholas has returned and he has a big premiere tomorrow. I don't watch his show, so I could probably care less. Wings is saying stuff like that in his business practice is why I wouldn't go to him no matter the price. I would rather pay off for a solid. I would rather pay more for a solid person and things. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then Basil's is saying he probably likes getting content from you in one take. And Laura's saying there's no productive questions in the Q&A. It's all trolling. I agree. Yep. And then getting content out. And then Brian McLaughlin is saying it's already out, but the main issue has been what makes him different as a salesperson or his success mainly due to other sources of income or funding like the investors he keeps asking for. Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of people have just still a very interesting take on him. I just find it a fascinating case study. I think that's why I just continue to kind of talk about this stuff and bring it up in conversation. It's very interesting, psychological.
Really, it's what's feeding him. That's the stuff that you're saying right now.
And I just fucking don't know why he just can't jump on for 10 minutes and have a conversation with me. It just seems like he's... So why don't you guys out there drop him an IG message and fucking tell him, come on the Let's Talk Live show. He said he was going to do it. I need help from you guys. Tell him, fucking get over here. Do 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever. I just want to ask him some questions, not take my questions, but I appreciate the shout out. Yeah. But, I want him here on the show. We got to do a hangout. We got to do a hangout.
Absolutely.
And then Wings looks like Basil having some conversation with Basil. So I don't know, man. It's a pretty good show. What do you think? My voice is starting to go. So I think we're going to wrap it up.
Don't do that again. Are you better?
I hope so, man.
Okay.
Hope so. Let's play some music on the way out.
That was pretty good.
Like that.
I don't have any candles with me. You have a lighter?
Let's see if we get a beat. We're going to get a beat. Nope. Come on. Throw a beat down. Throw a beat.
I got nothing.
No,
there's your beat. I thought that was the beat.
That was a long intro.
Yeah, right.
But, guys, as you know, this is the end of the show. Go ahead. I'll be back.
There goes my rap career right there.
I'll be back on Tuesday night to do my regular Timepiece Gentleman Tuesday, where we break down the video. Primo, if you're around and you want to jump on and hang out, we do the walkthroughs every Tuesday night.
We
give the commentary back to
commentary. I like it.
But we are at this point going to head out. Appreciate everybody sticking out this evening. Maybe I'm going to do the old outro tonight. Let's do the old outro.
There we go. Blast from the past.
Blast from the past. Everybody in the chat, Basil's Wings, Laura, who else did I forget? Shot in the Dark was in the there we go. Shot in the Dark was in the chat. We had a bunch of other people earlier. I'm so sorry. And thanks, Wings, for the $3 Canadian sticker tonight. Appreciate it. Get some bell on that one. And we're going to hit the old intro. We'll see you guys Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully, Timepiece Gentleman drops a video tomorrow. We'll walk through it on Tuesday.
Perfect.
Goodbye.
Later.